So think as much as you can back to when you were going to maybe daycare or preschool, as much as you can. Eventually you got to know the routine, the patterns of the school, when you went to school, how they would start, and then lunchtime, sleep time, whatever it is, and you started to expect what would happen. Hi, my name is April, and I'm here to give you ESL tips for teaching English in the classroom or online. So if this is what you'd like to see more of, please consider subscribing. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to be giving you tips for teaching ESL to young learners. And when I say young learners, I'm talking preschool, like maybe age 3. But anyways, I'm going to be giving you some tips. I'm going to be talking about routines, why they are really helpful and useful in the class, especially as an ESL teacher. And then I'm going to be sharing with you some ideas for lesson plans that you can use during the routine. So stick around, and at the end of this video I'll actually show you a demo video of me teaching the infantile, starting with one of our routines that we typically do at the beginning of the lesson. So routines provide the basic foundations of a child's life, and I'm even going to be linking a website below so you can read up on why it's helpful to have routines for children. When I was asking you about when you were younger and you got used to the patterns in school, that was a routine, and that helped you to understand the structure of things. You weren't really mentally aware of what was going on, but you got into the rhythm of things. They really work for all children because they provide a basic framework while the students are still getting to understand their world, you know? Also, because they love encouragement and they love to accomplish things, right? When you provide a routine that has a basic, foundation, and they're able to build on that, then you are basically, giving them the assertive nature that they need in order to continue learning, especially for most of them, because you have children at different levels in the classroom, and if all of them can at least get one foundation or one understanding, then you're just making it positive for most, if not all of them. And you want it to be for all of them. They really work a lot for young learners that are learning a second language, in my opinion, because they won't understand all the instructions you're giving them. For example, if you wanted them to draw something or do something different, if you have a routine for how you usually structure the lessons, it starts to click in their mind. Of course, there will be an initial stage where you have to teach them to get into the routines of things, especially if they're just starting at maybe 3 years old. But eventually, having repeated it, they start to do it like clockwork, like instant. And I'm not saying repeat the same thing over and over again. What I'm saying is that you have different ways or methods in which you do different topics. So even if you want to introduce something new, you have the structure there for you to put the new topic into. And what's even really helpful is that the children feel more in control than intimidated. If you've ever taught in the classroom, I don't know if you've ever had experience of going in the classroom and the kids are just staring at you because they really don't understand. And that can make them feel intimidated, especially if they're not really comfortable with learning the new languages yet. So if they can have a place where they feel more in control, then that helps encourage them to learn and to do stuff, or to even have fun, even if they don't realize that they're actually learning, which I think is the best thing ever, when I see kids having fun and they're learning at the same time. I don't know, it's a teacher's joy to me. So I always start with a theme song to get them going, to know that, okay, it's about to start. This is English class. I usually would play a song like the Hello song. It's found on YouTube. Or I recently started singing a pretty simple song with them, because with the video, yes, you can get them to do action, to dance, but if you're singing alone, then I can at least listen to all of them singing, instead of the music blocking them out. Another thing that I like to do, and I got this tip from a friend, is to take the attendance. So I'll just call their names. I have some popsicle sticks with their names. I'll call them and they're like, here I am. It helped me. First of all, I did it because it helped me to remember their names. But at the same time, at the beginning of the class, at least every child has gotten the chance to say something in English, right? Every child. You may never have the chance of having the entire class saying something, but at the beginning, at least all students get to see, here I am, or here if they're still really young, and or even raise their hands, so they are able to recognize their name and know that they can indicate that this is me. So next we go into something that involves memorization, like something that is a cycle. For example, the days of the week, the months of the year, the seasons. I like to do the days of the week and then ask them, what day is it? So they can start thinking in their mind in English for the days and the months of the years, things like that. And then I'll go into the topic that we're focusing on. So, and they're pretty simple for infantile. If I want to start to introduce colors or to review colors, if I want to introduce the body parts or review, other topics could include profession, how do you feel, the weather or seasons. Next, I like to do a brain break, and what I love to do is to find an action song that goes along with the topic that we were doing. It's just a fun way to have a break, but at the same time still be keeping the topic that we are doing at hand, or to just be learning at the same time. Next, I like to review the topic that we just did and then do a dance that could be completely unrelated, but it's still in English. It probably involves some instructions, such as the cha-cha side is so fun. They love it so much. So right hand, and they're doing the right and left and head and foot and whatever, but it's still in English, but it's completely unrelated, and then they can relax. And by that time, they're winding down, they need something different, and they can know that, okay, we're about to end and we're having fun. It's kind of like a free time during the class. Like when you do swimming, you do the instructions, and then the pool instructor, if he or she is nice, will give you some free time, and then you can do whatever. But it's still in English, because like just with the pool analogy, you're still in the pool. So it's just fun. And then I always end with a goodbye song, so they know, okay, this is ending and time to do something else, time to settle down, go to your seats, or whatever. Sometimes they'll be like, no, especially if they enjoyed the particular lesson, but say it has come to an end. You probably have another class, so you just need a break. Depending on how long you have the lesson, the students, know how to structure the lesson and how far you want to go with each activity and each routine. And be patient with them in the beginning, especially if you are trying to establish the routines. They may not necessarily understand in the beginning, the flow of things, but being consistent with it, getting the help of the main teacher to, establish what you're doing, that will help a lot. So then they get in the flow, and then you just can start getting things done. Because I found that even though things may be a little, scratchy and hectic at the beginning, or should I say disorganized feeling, they get into it. They're students, like human beings. They'll start to understand what's going on. Good morning. How are you? I'm fine. Okay, let us sing. 1, 2, 3. Hello, 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 and how are you? I'm fine. And I hope that you are too. Hello. you're teaching ESL online, watch this video to help you to know how to introduce yourself effectively to your student. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great